こまでやればちょっとくらいその気に。待って先輩、そこまではまだ心の準備が。
風邪ひくぞ。同人誌を足毛にしてしまうとは。すまん、リリエル。
はあ、ダメだこいつ。
Whoa, 2.5 sensational, sensational, whatever it's called. 2.5 dimensional seduction. What a freaking episode. This was episode number 2 of a dimensional seduction. Yo, it's so good. I didn't think this episode, or I didn't think this show, like, how do you say it? Episode 1 was such a good showing that when we go into episode 2, I was kind of thinking, okay, we're going to get along the lines of like the same thing. Maybe a little, you just never know when it comes to episode 2s because, you know, episode 1's supposed to be bombastic and it's supposed to grab us. It got better. Like, not only did it introduce another character really fast, so that's one of the things that if I had to nitpick one thing, like say like, I don't know how I feel about this one thing about the show, it's the pacing. It does feel like the pacing is like blitzing by. But it did introduce a brand new character in Mirika-san, I think is her name. Mirika, which is essentially his childhood friend. And it's his childhood friend who's in love with him, by the way. Who's been in love with him since they were like, I don't know, 7 or 8, maybe even younger. And she's basically loved him since then. And to gain or garner his affection and attention, she began to be a model. Now, that's not exactly how it happened, but she got scouted and she pursued it heavily to try and get noticed in his eyes. At least that's like her ultimate goal in kind of like in all of this, essentially. And she ends up going and becoming a supermodel, which is absolutely, just insane. The fact that she becomes like this supermodel and she ends up joining the school. And obviously she joins, due to, very specific like reasons because he goes to the school. And she's been looking forward to seeing him and everything else. And she's like, where's this weirdo manga otaku, whatever. And essentially we get the initial flashback when they were kids. This is not, our main character here is not somebody who just became an otaku recently or through like his own vices. He is somebody who has been this for like since he was a little kid. He's loved this Liliel character. This is like how he like eats and breathes this character, and we get to see that at a younger age. He was still kind of the same, and we get to see how he originally saved her, from some bullies and stuff. So he came in and he donned his character, kind of like a tuxedo mask type character, and he saved her. And that just kind of like, her heart bursted out of her chest kind of thing. And she began to try and depict herself to be like him and try and get into his manga and stuff. But he never quite gave her the attention, affection that she wanted. So that's where she went to supermodel stuff. And for him, he's been true to his vices. So this episode, she comes in, she goes back to school, and she's wondering about where this manga club is at. And they're like, oh, you like manga? She's like, no, I hate manga. And basically because she feels like she doesn't have to compete against another woman or another girl. She has to compete against the manga. So she doesn't like the manga for that reason. She goes and due to some accident with some water, she has to run from all these, crazy fans of hers at the school. And she ends up running into the manga club. And that's where we find out that, she throws herself at Okamura. And, it just takes off from there. And she gets declothed, and she, has there's like a sexy scene that happens, between the two characters, and it's just a little crazy and really, really fun and awesome to see. So just like I really, really enjoyed it because, she throws herself at him, and then, in accordance with, main character rules, he falls on her, he slips on a manga, she has her assets out, and she pulls him close, and then he, out of nowhere, has the funniest moment. He's like, "Oh no, I slipped on the blah blah edition of the manga." He goes, he tries to clean it up, and she just like crumbles because she thought like, okay, I think I just made his heart move. No, he was really worried about the manga, so he puts his little coat on her, little jacket on her, and then she dips out, and that's like a hilarious moment. Then later on, you know, she's telling us her whole backstory where we find out, you know, how everything happened. And then she's peeking at the club and she sees Ririsa, you know, from the window, and she like books it. She's like, "Is that another girl?" She books it. And then she sees them in cosplay as they're about to take pictures and stuff, and she loses it, which is just again hilarious. Also, kind of like, you know, peeling back to the beginning of the episode, Ririsa had, you know, she didn't have her cosplay stuff. She had Okamura take pictures of her during the beginning of the episode, and she went in full cosplay mode, like just really bearing it all as they were taking pictures in the class, and she forgot that she wasn't in cosplay. So I mean, she was just, you know, open-legged, and like he was taking some, I mean, you would call some really spicy pictures. And I like how she realized when she happened to realize after that he was taking spicy pictures, not cosplay pictures, she had a moment, and that was just hilarious. So like really from the introduction of the new character, Mikuri, to, you know, the spicy stuff, to a very tasteful ecchi that's being done here, to just a comedic, or like, you know, the comedy and the comedic, you know, elements and the comedic moments. Like I had a great time watching this episode, and honestly, like 9 out of 10, 10 out, like, I mean, again, outside of just that one little nuance of pacing, like they like awesome episode. So yeah, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I think this one's really like, this one's gonna be like a real popular one, I think. Not just because the spicy, but then because of just like, it's a really good content. So anyways, that's how I feel. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next week for episode 3. What's going to come next? Now I'm really excited. So see you guys next week for that. All right, my friends. Peace.